Guys, in today's Trophy Kids, we got a great show for you, recapping the NFL Week 4, and we're giving our Week 5 picks. So let's go. And welcome to Trophy Kids, presented by Bad News Media. Second, up is down, east is west. I don't know what's going on anymore. The NFL is madhouse. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing all right. I Bucks won, which we'll get to here in a moment. But the theme of this NFL week was a little unpredictable at best for some. Some things, though, never change. The dysfunctionality of your Redskins is definitely one of them.
Oh.
I mean, throwing Haskins out there with maybe 15 minutes at a time is one of the worst situations I've ever seen a quarterback be thrown into.
I mean, it's just terrible. Like, he didn't even get halftime to go in. It was just like 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and we're just like, okay, let's throw the rookie in there. And I mean, it's just no thought whatsoever. Just no, like, everyone's just criticizing us as always. We just look so embarrassing. I mean, there's just such a disconnect between our front office and our coaches. It's embarrassing. I actually found this quote back when we signed Landon Collins in like March, and this is what Doug Williams said. When we look at players, this is from 106.7 The Fan, by the way, a DC radio station, that they wrote this up. He says, when we look at players, we look at talent. It's up to the defensive coordinator and the defensive back coaches to scheme them up. We're not in the room with the scheme. I don't exactly know what the scheme is. Our front office guy doesn't know what type of defensive scheme we run. Are you kidding me? What a joke. I mean, what a joke. He just says, well, this guy was good on another team, so yeah, we bring him in. We have no idea if he fits on our team, but we bring him in here, and then our awful defensive coaches can't scheme him up correctly. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then I found this lovely stat from Ben Fennell in the NFL. Who's the toughest to throw against on third down this season? Number one is the Lions, where the completion percentage is 44.4%. The Redskins, number 32 in the league, 87.2% completion percentage on third down. 87? What?
Oh,
and the
bad.
Next closest team is Atlanta at 73%, which is terrible. But we're closer to 100% completion percentage than we are to the next closest team. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, going into this year, the defense was the strength of our team, and they have been anything but. I don't get it. And each game, we've looked worse and worse. We came out against Philly and looked okay. I was like, all right, we'll win some games this year. We played Dallas. I was like, all right, we're not that good, but we'll still probably win a few. When we play the Bears, I'm like, we suck. And now we play the Giants, and I think we are legitimately going to go in 16.
Yeah, it's not a good situation down in Washington. I mean, I think it was Bidcat on Pro Football Talk who said dysfunctional organizations produce dysfunctional results or whatever. A little paraphrase there. That's about what you're getting. It's not good when you have people in charge of player personnel not knowing who to get to fit a scheme. It doesn't bode well to throw a rookie quarterback out there who obviously hasn't grasped the offense yet and have him do baptism by fire. It's not great when you're stirring a Gatorade cooler last week with a bunch of styrofoam cups. It's not great when you have a pass defense that is that atrocious. You're not going to win a lot of football games in an NFL that is pass happy. I don't know what the solution is down there for you in Washington. I would suspect, though, Jay Gruden's probably on the way out, which means you guys are in full-blown rebuild mode.
Full-blown rebuild mode. And, I mean, on top of that is we are so dysfunctional and known for being so dysfunctional is that no good coaches are going to want to come here anyway.
Yep.
The last good coach we had was Shanahan, and once we ran him out of here, I'm sure he went and told all the other legendary coaches what a fucking shit show it is over here. I mean, it's really bad. And of course, as always, let's review who was out this past game. Our starting left tackle, our starting tight end, our starting right guard, our starting center, our starting running back, one of our best starting wide receiver. Why does this happen every year with this team? I don't understand.
Yeah, that is a rough one. I don't know what's going on with the injury part of it. It's tough to build a football team when you have that kind of problem. It's also really tough to evaluate if you have your quarterback number one, which the point of drafting Haskins is for him to be the franchise quarterback, but it's really tough to evaluate a guy when you don't have a healthy line, when you don't have healthy play, and you have a complete dysfunction around him, you're never going to get a true evaluation on him. So I would be concerned about that. But the medical staff, too, that is one thing that has always baffled me in the NFL. I don't know how they don't have the best medical staffs on every single team out there. There should be no reason for that type of injury to plague a team year after year after year after year, like it does with you guys on the offensive line and elsewhere.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know why this happens. It's awful. And like you said, how do we not have the greatest doctors on earth? Like, why are there players who are like against our doctors? Like, that shouldn't be a thing. These are professionals. I don't understand.
Injuries are going to happen. It's the fact that having very similar injuries at the same positions that lead you to believe that's more of they're not recovering properly, they're not rehabbing properly, they're not getting the right treatment to make sure that when they come back from said injuries, they have a higher chance of successfully not re-hurting themselves. That is a recipe for disaster that, for whatever reason, seems to be playing out in Washington more so than in other organizations, which is not great.
Not great at all.
Well, that is a tough situation down in Washington. I'm with you. I don't know how many football games they're going to be able to win. I guess the good news is the division outside of the Cowboys, which we'll get to in a moment, isn't exactly pristine, except for Daniel Jones is starting to tear it up a little bit. I guess it's a good time to transition to my Bucks, given we're going off teams. I don't know what to think about my Buccaneers. That was a hell of a football game. I don't know what I'm going to get week to week. That's very Buccaneers-like. I'm usually in your position where it's dysfunction after dysfunction after dysfunction, and that we are just a bottom-out team with my hopes and souls completely diminished. But that was the greatest game I've ever seen the Bucs play in the last, the entire time in Jameis Winston's era. But then again, Jameis did kind of pop old Jameis out towards the end of it.
Yes, he did.
And threw that pick six, which leads me to be concerned. I'm not taking the anomaly of one game. We'll see if he can put some consistent games. The one thing I am definitive in saying is Shaq Barnett is the best defensive player currently in the league, and he's the most dominant defensive player currently in the league. I know some people are going to take that as a shock because there's Khalil Mack out there, obviously, but Shaq Barrett is getting it done every single weekend. He's getting it done in every single way. It's not like he has one move. He has multiple moves. The man has 9 sacks through 4 games. That's insane. He had the strip fumble to win us the game to make sure that they did not that we covered for Jameis's mistake. I love Shaq Barrett.
I mean, yeah, 9 sacks in 4 games is the most ridiculous thing ever. I mean, that comes
insane.
Up to 36 sacks. I mean, no ways to keep that pace up. But if he actually did that, I would be like, oh my God, that's like the most impressive record ever, because he would just shatter the record. And he's on pace to beat it. So let's hope he does. That'd be really cool. But yeah, your Buccaneers, I don't know what to expect out of them. I'm staying away from them wager-wise at this point because I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they put up 50 on the Rams. I know they don't have a great defense, but they have big names on defense. And it's just a hell of a win for your team. It really was.
The most surprising thing was, one, Jameis played well for 90% of the game. But more surprisingly is the offensive line played well against a pretty good defensive front for the Rams. They're not the best defensive front in football, but they're nothing to shy away from. Aaron Donald is he's actually the most dominating player on defense. Shaq Barnett, through 4 games, has proven to be a force to be reckoned with. But Aaron Donald is still the best player on the defensive line and probably in the league.
Yeah, he's probably the best player in the league.
Yeah, they did a good job blocking him. They did a good job keeping that part of the game from not dominating the Buccaneers offense, and we were able to run a clean offense. Godwin finally got on the radar, everybody. I've been so excited about this guy for so long because he has shown huge flashes, and he is now finally on everybody's radar. But you're right. I don't know what to make of the Bucs. I'm not holding my breath yet that we're going to be a success this year. We'll see. This could be a week-to-week team, or they could start to really put some things in front of them because the coaching staff is really good. Todd Bowles has changed that defensive mindset from what it has been in the past couple of years. The offense is definitely in a position to succeed. It ultimately comes down to the same thing it comes down to every year. The offensive line and Jameis Winston's play will determine how far this Buccaneers team goes. And I do not have a lot of faith in Jameis Winston, but I would like to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to have actual, real faith in the Bucs. I mean, it really is. I mean,
we have flown way under the radar as how god-awful we've been over the last couple of decades, but there are some signs.
Yeah, there are some signs. Yeah, you've flown way under the radar. You would think the Skins are way worse, but they're not. But
very true.
It really would. But I don't know. It's hard to have any sort of confidence in the team, but like you said, the coaching staff's amazing. Todd Bowles has got this defense playing out of his mind. I think Todd Bowles might be a one-year coordinator for you guys because I think he may go right back into head coaching next year. Because I mean, he's got this defense flying around.
Yep.
So yeah, but I mean, it's harder to make, but I mean, you have reasons to be excited where you really haven't been excited in years. So hey.
Very true. I'm very happy about it. The Todd Bowles thing is a great point to be made, and it's not one that's been being made because I don't blame him for the Jets situation. He did the best he could. Pretty empty cupboard out there as far as resources go, and he did a pretty decent job with what they gave him. So he's showing that he can coach. If he can put together a full season where this Bucs defense keeps up the level of production they're having, I don't see why somebody doesn't snatch him. I think he will be a head coach again. That is a great point that isn't getting talked about. I don't know what to make of the Bucs, just like I don't know what to make of the Titans or the Falcons. Well, I do know what to make of the Falcons. I think the Falcons are dead. But the Titans, I have no idea what to make of this team. They seem to play better on the road than they do at home, and they seem to play better when everybody seems to have kind of written them off, which is a really random thing. I don't know what to make of this Titans team. I think the Falcons are dead, though. But they did wear some fire jerseys this weekend.
The jerseys were cool. Yeah, I'm not a Falcons believer, to be honest. As crazy as it sounds, I think you guys are second, and you're going to be second in the division.
Which is insane.
I think that might happen. It's crazy. But yeah, the Titans, I mean, they get smacked around one week, they smack another team, or they smack someone else around the next week, and then it switches off with that team. They're very weird. I kind of almost maybe things are coming together, but I kind of am going to lump them in kind of with the Browns as well. The Browns, you don't really know what you're going to get. I mean, they smoke the Ravens, but Odell does nothing. It was the NFL is so weird. You just never know what you're going to get.
That is definitely the theme of this week's games, where it's the NFL, unlike college, any team can beat on any Sunday, unless you're the Miami Dolphins. They're not winning a game this season. But outside of them, any team can win a football game.
They may win in 2 weeks, buddy.
That is true also. The Redskins coming up. I have faith. But this week definitely showed from week to week, it completely changes. I was one that did not pick the Browns to win the Ravens game, which is a good kind of transition. I did not think Freddie Kitchens was going to make a comeback that quickly. I did not think the offense was going to make that quick of a turnaround. The Ravens are a little bit concerning. I don't know if they're actually as good as we thought they were now. I mean, they did play some pretty crappy teams, and then they played well against the Chiefs, but they didn't look great. The Browns, though, looked like they've done a complete 180. The offense looked good. Baker had some time. The play calling was actually intelligent this week. Mm-hmm. Freddie Kitchens obviously seems to have learned. Now we'll see if he goes back to his old ways here, but things just seem to click. I was very surprised by that. But if this is the Browns team, if this is what the Browns are going to produce, this is the team that everybody sort of thought they were, where they are a real playoff contender and hopeful to go a little deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they could, but I mean, you never, like we said, you really never know. I mean, Nick Chubb played out of his mind. I think they got to feed Nick Chubb way more. They got to get that guy involved. And like you said with the Ravens I have a little bit of concern with. Lamar plays well, but Lamar, a lot of times it takes Lamar a while to get going. And that's kind of concerning. Like a lot of times he doesn't really start to show up until the fourth quarter. And by that point, I mean, it's too late. Like he'll get you those good fantasy points, but he may not have his team in it.
Yeah, and I think what I like about the Ravens is Hardball is playing kind of new era football where he's being super aggressive, and I like that.